So, this is what occurred in the dream. I was in my room here, and I was trying to use my computer. I know there was other stuff that was occurring before that I can't recall what it was. Um, and I remember having problems with my computer. It was acting really strange, and then just a lot of weird stuff was occurring. And then, like, parts of my computer were beginning to break off. Really, really strange. And then I remember, like, laying in bed. And I remember, like, feeling like I was trying to go to sleep within my dream. And, or it wasn't my dream, right? Anyways, I remember I was trying to go back to sleep within my dream, or attempting to go to sleep within my dream, and I heard something outside of my room. It sounded like a little kid and his father, and it sounded like they were playing out in the hallway. Really strange. But I felt really annoyed by it because, the noise and the laughter wouldn't stop. And it was just really odd, it was just completely abnormal. The sounds, the noises that I was hearing, I can't replicate it, but it just sounded like weird. To be more depictive, the laughing and giggle sounds from the father and his son was occurring right outside of my room in the hallway of my music studio. Not something you would ever hear at the studio, and this would be prolonged right outside of my room, and not near their own room. These verbal sounds felt acted and staged to me. I could not imagine these weird verbal sounds as well as the laughter. It sounded like actual people. I would feel very irritated and also disturbed by it, thinking that this father was being instructed to use his own son for this skit, to annoy me and, in essence, molest me with his child. I feel that this skit may have been designed so that not only does it anger me deeply that anyone could use their child to stalk and harass another person, but to potentially get me to talk about it, which might have people believe that I hate children or family stuff if I were to talk about it. This could not be further away from the truth. I love life. I miss being a child, and remember all the awesome adventures and games that I would like to play. When I see other children having fun doing anything with their innocently and joyous smiles on their faces, it pulls on my heartstrings, and I feel like joining in on the fun. Impress them with my skills, creativity, and knowledge. Be a Morpheus, so to speak. Matrix, anyone? Are there any Neos out there? I really thought that this was real, not thinking it was a dream. I was thinking that I am just waking up by this commotion outside of my room, opening my eyes in the dream and seeing my room from the position when laying on my bed. Many times the dream will shift to a different scenario or situation after it gets me to feel or respond in some way. Here's the next part of that dream. I then remember, like, trying to use my computer again, but then, like, it started really acting weird, and some of the programs were, like, disappearing. It's really strange. I was trying to access the internet, Safari, the little icon on the side here was missing. It disappeared. And I remember feeling like dread that, like, my computer is done, and like, all my materials on this computer. I have a lot of valuable information on there. I just remember feeling a lot of dread. And while all of this was happening, I was still hearing all the laughter outside from this little kid, and then I started to hear music being played. Like they went into their room and then they were playing music. And then it sounded like the kid was trying to sing too. Really weird. But then the dream started to take a negative turn. Like a real, as if it wasn't negative already, right? So I feel like there's missing parts right now to the dream that I'm not mentioning, but I'm just going to skip forward to the last part of the dream. And there was like three males, three guys who were walking by my door. I remember they were walking by my door and they were like talking, they were like gang stalkers, it would seem, right? They were doing like directed conversation. They were talking about my situation and laughing, right? They were like, "Oh, what are you gonna do? You can't record," like just kind of like mockery, basically, because my computer wasn't working. This comment, which sounded like it was right outside of my room, saying, "Oh, what happened to your computer? You can't record now." "Oh, what happened to your computer? You can't record now." I believe is more so intended to cause fear in me, because within this scenario, I cannot start a recording for my safety. Similar to a confirmation bias, but it's a forced situation bias. And then all of a sudden, somehow, they were able to enter my room. So strange. Except they didn't enter from the door, they entered from this wall over here, which magically there was like a door somehow, like they were able to get into my room through this wall, but there was a door that just happened to be there. Really strange. And as soon as they entered my room, like this music started to occur, this weird like hip-hop music, which, I don't really like hip-hop. I like the good stuff, I guess. I'm not really a fan of it, but most of it is garbage. It's Hollywood crap. It really is. It's poison. The music industry is toxic. It's horrible stuff. It's mind control. It's literally mind control. Anyways, so this weird music started playing, and they were taunting me as they were entering my room, like they owned my room, right? And they were like using tactics of intimidation, and I was just like standing and watching the entire time. One of them picks up some white shoelaces and like is doing something with it. As if this is used to get me focusing or thinking about what he is doing, which in turn allows those orchestrating the dream to see how this affects me. Depending on how it makes me feel or whatever reaction choices it causes me to make, a specific scenario will be played out next. Let's say, for example, there was a movie that allowed the user to make choices within each scene of the movie. Depending on the choices you made, differing scenes would carry out. However, with dream simulation, the choices you make and the feelings you feel are the choices you make for the dream to progress. As if you are in the movie, but you do not realize it is a movie. You think it is real. This is how I believe dream simulation technology may work. just to quickly delve into it on a basic level.
And is like messing around with it, and then he like puts it over his eye. He makes like two circles out of it and like wraps it around his head, like as if they're like goggles or something. It's really weird, but it's just shoelaces, and he's like joking around or something. It's weird. And then he says Brujeria or something, which is a band. It's a metal band that is like, I don't know. You know, I don't really like, I haven't read their lyrics, but I've heard like they're, you know, like, and like kill white people or something, and they're like a Mexican band.
So apparently, brujeria means witchcraft in Latin America. Here's the Wikipedia page for brujeria. Brujeria is an American extreme metal band formed in Los Angeles, California in 1989. The band has Spanish lyrics with topics such as Satanism, anti-Christianity, sex, immigration, narcotics, smuggling, and politics. They perform under pseudonyms and portray themselves as a Latino band consisting of drug lords, concealing their identities due to being wanted by the FBI. Go figure. What a reverse role that is. They're not wanted by the FBI. The CIA is managing that whole thing to begin with. Continuing. In videos and photographs of the band, they are shown wearing bandanas, balaclavas, serepes, and are often wielding machetes. I guess that's supposed to help their manhood there. The band was criticized from its inception for its lyrics about drugs, sex, and Satanism. These topics, while the subjects of many other death metal acts, not really. Why would they just want to lump this shit with all the other, you know, death metal acts, I guess you could say, were inspired by actions of Adolfo Constanzo, Cuban-American-born Mexican drug smuggler, practitioner of Palo Mayombe, and serial killer. And if you have a look at the guy, I mean, just have a look at him. Cuban-American serial killer, drug dealer, and cult leader who led an infamous drug trafficking and occult gang in Matamoros. Okay, so here's the guy, Adolfo Constanzo. Have a look at the guy. Obviously, he's going to be used by he's a patsy used by the CIA and the FBI. That's his big ticket, right? You can tell that guy's not getting laid. Yeah, you can tell that's an angry inch little bitch who needs the helping hand of tyranny, to help his angry inch hood. Yeah, there you have it. Right, and what does it do? How does this influence the counterculture, the CIA's counterculture all over the place? Okay, little stories like these, it's what surrounds it all, and it's all about fear and intimidation, as well as race baiting. Continuing, and if you have a look at this album cover right here, the debut album by the band Brujeria, Güero is a Mexican-Spanish slang term for a blonde or light-skinned haired person. There you have it. You can see on the album cover that it has a decapitated head of a white person who looks like he's been beaten and whatever, and you can see somebody holding up the head. That's okay? Just because of the color of his skin? Right? You're a bunch of clowns who are being used by the CIA and the FBI. You're a bunch of clowns that are used by the evil, by the deceiver. You couldn't do anything on your own. You don't care. Yeah, they don't care. It's all about fear and intimidation, and to get us acquiesced and into socially accepting this crap that our kids are being predisposed to every day. Okay, you look at this new face right here. Okay, have a look at him.
A metal band or something. Anyways.
The only reason I have heard of this band was through one of my best friends in the early 2000s. In fact, this particular best friend and I would start up a band of our own eventually. I should share some of the recordings we did sometime. Anyways, it's really good. Anyways, this friend of mine introduced me to many metal bands such as Pantera, Hatebreed, Sepultura, Fear Factory, and even early Metallica. My first time listening to Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets albums, believe it or not, was in 2004. I was 19 years old.
It's a band that I don't listen to, nor do I think about them. It had to have been inserted in my dream. They wanted to insert that. I feel like, they use every tactic in the book. It's all about race baiting. It's all about fear and intimidation, and to unsettle the target, to get them not focused about,
to prevent the target from focusing on what they are working on,
or to question themselves,
to break down the personality by disrupting or blocking your natural workflow, or even thought flow, to artificially induce a barrier or detachment from your natural thoughts, feelings, and way of life.
Or just to live in fear, right? To cause that flight or fight response as well. Excuse me. So, this guy, there's three of them, and they're like dancing, and then they're entering my room. The guy puts these shoelaces on his face and says, "Braya!" And then I think he said something like, "Oh, what happened to your computer? Your computer doesn't work. That's too bad," like in a mocking way. And then, he's walking over to my bed. I'm standing kind of close to my door, but I felt like I wasn't able to move. It was weird. Like, I wasn't able to move. Like, I think that's a telltale sign that the dream is being rigged, that you can't move I think that's it. Yeah. You can't move from the location because it's a fixed setting.
Similar to a video game environment with boundaries. Now imagine a virtual environment made of photographic images as the background. Then actual actors are recorded acting these skits out to then insert that act into the dream environment. If V2K technologies can be used to wirelessly transmit voices and sounds to the auditory cortex in the brain, it is no stretch of the imagination that images or video can be transmitted to the visual cortex of the brain, for which I have dubbed I2K, parentheses, image to skull.
And so within the fixed setting, they can have their actors do whatever. So I remember he goes towards my bed, and then somehow he picks up a knife, and I got really scared. I felt like this was a dream at that point, and I kind of remember feeling like I know it's coming next. And he was still like dancing while this was occurring, and then the music was playing. Really sick shit, man. It's like, how does anybody dream of something like that? It's weird. And I remember he was getting closer to me to see. I want to see how I'm going to respond. And I decided to try to grab the knife. And as soon as I did that, he pulled back the knife and he stabbed me. And that's when I woke up. So there you have it. There's my dream. Really ridiculous. And I just remember waking up and remembering how the song went. The song, it's a song that I've never heard in my life. I don't listen to hip hop music, but it was so vivid. It was an actual song of some sort. Really sick shit, man. And while all this was occurring, they're actually, they have to be utilizing V2K while this is occurring, like hardcore V2K. When I'm awake, it won't occur. It will, but it won't be intense. It will be very, subliminal. You can hear it, but you can't really make out what's being said, and usually when it occurs, it serves the purpose of interrupting my own thought processes, or more, on most cases, when I'm attempting to fall asleep, they'll apply the V2K, specifically right when I'm dozing off. This I can definitely vouch for. I know that this is patented technology, the V2K and the remote neural monitoring. It's being used in tandem on the subject, and thus when they can detect when their subject is dozing off, they apply the V2K, and I wake up. It prevents me. It scares me. I know what it is. It doesn't really scare me, but it shocks me a little. It's really ridiculous. So there you have it. I feel like it's all about disrupting the momentum of the TI or subject or target, and to just sort of demoralize them as much as possible. I'm not going to get into all the other stuff that has been done to me using this technology. I will definitely, I have documented it. I just wanted to specifically talk about and affirm that I'm convinced about dream manipulation. As soon as I woke up, I just started researching it, and there's nothing on the subject.
With all my years of research, I have never come across anything that describes what I am detailing, which also affirms that my details of the experiences are the results of the actual technology.
It's like remote MK Ultra in your dreams. It's exactly what it's like. And it's all about fear and intimidation and all that ridiculous, weak, sellout crap that, they need a victim to feel empowered in life. These are sellouts amongst man. These are the abomination amongst man. They have nothing on me. They don't know what strength is. And I will fight against this for not just my own sake, but for everyone else who may be going through such an ugly thing. You know who you are out there. You're a brave person. You have something valuable that they want to steal from you. Remember who you are. Remember what you're capable of. Take care of yourself. And do what it is that you are meant to do. I got your back.